Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Sonia, aka Sister Philly, in case you're here for the first time. So a few videos ago I did a Valentine's Day look and it was supposed to be like a soft look. I focused on rose gold colors, but I wanted it to be kind of like an everyday look even though it was for Valentine's Day. So today I wanted to do another look for Valentine's Day, but we're going to be doing a more bold, more smoky look today. So this is the finished look. I'm going to show y'all how I came up with this. And I did notice that when I was going through using the products, I forgot to tell y'all how much the stuff costs as I was going through, but I will have all of that information listed in the description bar, so make sure you check that out. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I really hope that you'll consider subscribing today. And of course, for those of you who are already subscribed, thank you so much and welcome back. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation today. This is actually one of my favorite foundations. I like out of all the ones that I own, affordable and high-end, but it is definitely my favorite like affordable foundation. It has like a really nice, like smooth, natural finish to it, and even though I have to mix two shades together, I do still really like it. So I'm going in with shades Cocoa and Espresso, and I am blending this out with the Sonia Kashuk sponge, which the sponge is actually affordable too. It costs $7 from Target. I feel like I haven't used a sponge in a long time. But I like blending this one out with a sponge because it's a little like on the, not thick side, but it's not like super thin and watery. I'm going to put a little bit more of the color Cocoa on this side. And I always put my foundation on my cheeks first because I want the most coverage right up in that area. And then I always put foundation like around my eyes last. I don't put a whole lot of foundation right under my eye because I'm going to go on top of that area with concealer anyway. So you see how I still have a little bit of stuff peeking through the foundation. One of the things I like about this, I do feel like you can build it up to full coverage, but this is like enough for me. I don't really do like super full coverage foundation. I'm gonna use the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This one is in the color Cool Tan. I really don't have like a favorite like affordable or drugstore concealer. I love the Too Faced Super Coverage Concealer, and that's, you know, more on the high end side. This one is really good, but I feel like I do have to apply like quite a bit of it compared to like other concealers that I apply. But at least with this one, it is a really nice color for me, and I can use it to highlight under my eye. I like this brush applicator a lot better. I use this on my eyelids sometimes. So I like this brush applicator like a lot better on the lid as opposed to under the eye. I'm just so used to using something with a doe foot applicator to go like underneath my eye. So anyway, I'm gonna apply this on my under eye area, and as you can see, I feel like I'm applying like a whole lot of it. And it's actually not a whole lot of product that's on my eye. I just feel like you have to go like little by little when you're trying to squeeze this out of the tube, because you don't want to just, you know, miss and squeeze too much out. All right, so I'm going to take a brush to blend this out. I like using a brush on my under eye area because I feel like it gives you fuller coverage. This takes a little longer than using a sponge, but I do like the way it comes out better. So I'm just applying this, or blending it out rather, on my under eye area. I'm also bringing it up on the side of my nose and a little bit on my eyelid area, and then I'm gonna drag this up in this direction to give my face like that lifted effect. And I'm gonna apply a little bit more just like right on my eye bags, and I'm gonna blend that out again. So just like right up in this area. See, this is what I was talking about. I feel like I do have to put on quite a bit of this to get coverage. A lot of people really like this concealer though. I mean, for some reason, I don't know. I just feel like I have to use a whole lot of it when I use it. Speaking of concealers, I just cannot make up my mind about the new Fenty concealer. I keep seeing so many mixed reviews on it. Some people love it. Some people think it's super cakey. I just don't know if I'm going to get it or not, but I'm leaning toward no on that one. But if you have the Fenty concealer, let me know what you think. Do you like it, or did you return it? Did you not like it? Let me know. Alright, I'm going over my under eye area with my sponge because I just feel like since I had to take so much time with the brush blending that out, like the brush, even though it gives you more coverage, it really doesn't lay the product down as smoothly as a sponge would. So I'm just going over that area with my sponge. I'm going to take what's left on the brush and I'm just going to hit this area here, which is only going to put down like just a little bit of product in these areas. But I've been doing this lately because I feel like when I put product right here and then try to blend it out, I just end up putting way too much every single time. So I'm just putting the residual product here. And I know it kind of looks like I didn't really add anything, but trust me, that's better than me putting product right there and trying to blend it out. I'm going to set everything with the Maybelline Loose Finishing Powder in 15 Light. Now sometimes, I feel like today I'm going to use this powder on its own, but sometimes I do mix it with my ColourPop powder. I'm not going to do that today just because I can get away with this powder on its own, but sometimes I like mixing in the ColourPop. This is the color of 15 Light. Sometimes I like mixing in the ColourPop because it's just a little darker, but I'm trying to go like affordable, which the ColourPop one, it is affordable. I think this costs $9, but the Maybelline one costs, I think, $7.99. So I'm gonna stick with this one today. I'm just using a fluffy like kabuki brush. This is from e.l.f. And as you can see, when I apply this powder, I don't know if you can see it or not because it's going away pretty fast. But when I apply this powder, it initially, like you can see it on contact, but when you start blending it out, it disappears pretty fast. So I do consider this colorless on my foundation. I'm not going to be setting my under eye area because lately this area has just been getting really, really dry. And it started doing that like when the season started to change. And I could put like that much powder on my under eye and it'll get really dry. And I already have like problematic under eyes anyway. So lately I just haven't been setting them at all. I'm going to do my brows off camera like I always do. But I will put my brow routine right here in case you're interested. But I always tell y'all, let me know in the comments when I do these types of tutorials. Would you rather see me speed through the eyebrows or would you rather me just skip over them? So I'm going to be using the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil, and this is in the color Blackest Brown. So I'm going to do this off camera and I'll be right back. Alright, my brows are irritating me today. I mean, they do on most days, but I feel like it's taken me a long time to do my brows today. I feel like when I first started doing makeup, like this used to be my good brow and this used to be the problem one, but I feel like they've switched. Like now I can never get this one to look right, you know? But oh well, they're done to the best of my ability. Normally I will skip over putting concealer on my lids, but I do want to show you what I'm wearing today or what I'm going to use today. I'm going to use the LA Girl Photo Focus Concealer in light medium beige. I'm going to put this on my eyelids and I'm going to put another concealer closer to my brow bone. I never really cared for this particular concealer as an under eye highlighting concealer, and I've never tried it to like spot conceal. I just felt like, or I should say I tried it and I didn't like it. I thought it was like really kind of like thick and heavy and almost a little sticky on the skin. But because of that consistency, I decided to try it as a eyeshadow primer one day, and I love using this concealer for eyeshadow. So that's the only reason I wanted to show you guys what I'm using today. So I like putting a rather light concealer on my eyelid, and then I like using something a little darker toward my brow bone. So on my brow bone, I'm going to be using the same concealer that I use under my eye, the LA Girl Pro in Cool Tan. I like using something darker closer to my brow bone, because I feel like the colors that I'm using up here, they're going to be just a little more sheared out than the products that I put on my lid. I want this, whatever I put on my lid, I want that to be, you know, really pigmented and stand out, but the colors that I'm putting up here, I don't want them to be quite as pigmented. And I feel like when I put a pretty light color up here, it just takes me forever to blend it out, and I have to use a lot more product to blend it out up here. Alright, for eyeshadow today, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Romantic Smoked Palette. This is what it looks like, and I'm going to start on my lid first and then work my way up. I usually do it the opposite, but I'm going to start off with this shade here. These shades don't have names to them, but I'm starting off with this one here, and I am going to apply that to the inner part of my lid. I haven't used this palette in a while, so I can't even remember if I used to wet these shades or if I like them just fine without wetting them. And I actually think that looks pretty good without wetting it. So I'm going to apply this to most of my lid. And another good thing about using the two different concealers or primer colors or whatever you use on your lid, I can use the lighter one kind of like as a guide to know like where to stop the lid colors, because my eyelids are tricky because they fold over. So they're not just hooded, but I have like, you know, a flap of skin that actually folds. So I like to go above the fold so you can actually see the shimmers or whatever I'm putting on my lid. Next, I'm going to go in with this matte, like grayish looking color. I'm going to apply that to the outer portion of my lid. And I'm just going to let this kind of like slightly overlap that shimmery color. And I'm also kind of bringing it out like on an angle like this. I'm going to take the tip of the brush and just very lightly drag this shade into the crease area, just a little tiny bit. Now I'm going to go in with this matte like blue. This is like a navy blue color here. I'm going to blend this out like right over those two colors that I have on my lid area. And I'm using, this is the M506 brush. I'm using this one because it's like a very small blending brush that is kind of like tapered, so it's not going to like buff out the product too much. And then I'm going to go in with another blending brush. This is the NYX number 16 brush. This one has like a wider head and the bristles are not quite as tapered. And I'm just going to use this. I'm going to pick up that same blue color and I'm going to use this to like buff it out on the edges. So it's the same color that I'm applying, but the density of the color will be different with this brush. Okay, I'm sticking with the same blue shade and I'm using an angled liner brush, and I'm going to use this to put a little bit of that shade on the outer part of my lower lash line. And what I'm doing is I'm placing it onto the lower lash line, but then I'm also dragging it down just a little bit to sort of buff it out. And I'm gonna pick up my small blending brush again, and I'm just gonna kind of finish off the edges out here to try and just connect the bottom shadow with the top. My eyes are another tricky area, or I should say the corner of my eyes, another tricky area for me, because especially on this eye, I have like a little tiny bit of skin that kind of like droops down. So it's hard for me to work around that area. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more with the eyes later on, but we're gonna move on to the rest of the face. I'm using another Maybelline powder in the color 40 Dark. I'm gonna use this as a bronzer. This is what this powder looks like. I like bronzing with this because it's nice and red, and a lot of bronzers, they tend to run like golden, but I like red toned bronzers a little bit better on me. So I'm using a big fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna kind of like in a very messy way, like drag this across my forehead. I feel like when I'm kind of messy with this, it just blends in better and it doesn't look like a straight line of product. And I do go very light with this because otherwise it'll just be too heavy. So I can see it looking in the mirror. It looks like y'all can see it on screen too, but it is like a very, very like faded bronzer up here. I just don't want it to look too heavy. I'm gonna take a little bit more on the same brush, and then I'm gonna squeeze the bristles together and hit my cheeks and my jawline. I try very hard to like change things up when I do my tutorials because I feel like they're so repetitive, but I'm also doing that for the sake of people who may be new. Like if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I want you to understand like why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Like the people who are already watching my videos, I hope it's not like too repetitive for y'all, so I'm still trying to work that out. I'm picking up some more powder on a different brush, and I'm going to use this to bronze slash contour my nose a little bit. And if I feel like I've made the contour on my nose too strong, which I normally feel that way, I'll take either my sponge or my brush that I used for my foundation and just lightly dab over it. And I feel like that helps to lighten it up a little bit. So I know I'm like almost done this tutorial, but I'm just now realizing that I haven't been keeping up with telling y'all how much the products cost. I think, did I do that at all? I don't even think I did that at all, but I'll make sure that I have all of that information listed in my description bar. Okay, so for blush, I'm going to be using a blush that I haven't used in quite some time. This is one of the e.l.f. blush palettes. This is the one for dark skin. And I'm going to go in with this shade here, like this corally peachy shade. And those are the types of colors that I really love on my face for blush. I like corally peachy, like warm toned blushes. They say that your blushes are usually supposed to be like the opposite of whatever your undertone is. So if you have like a warmer undertone, you probably use like more pink tone blushes. And that's definitely the case for me. I have a cool undertone, so I noticed that I prefer like warmer tone blushes. I actually feel like I kind of went a little heavy, but it's okay. We're going for a bold look anyway, so we're gonna roll with this. Okay, so for highlighter today, I'm using the Maybelline Master Chrome Studio Highlighter in Molten Peach. I haven't used this in a while, but this is one of my favorite highlighters. It's very pigmented, so I feel like you have to kind of go slow with this. But the pigment is one of the reasons I love it so much. Yeah, you guys can definitely see that on camera. I also have this one in Molten Rose Gold. And I love rose gold highlighters, but I kind of feel like I like this one a little bit better. So I'm going to take the residual product and run it down the center of my nose. I don't like too much highlighter down the center of my nose because I just don't want it to be like, oh my goodness. Now I'm going to take another highlighter. This is from Essence Pure Nude, and this is in the color Be My Highlight. I'm going to use this one on my brow bone because I feel like it's just not as, I guess, blinding is the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to take this one on a fan brush. I know a lot of people don't like fan brushes, but I actually really like them for hitting my brow bone. I don't use it for my cheeks, but I love fan brushes for the brow bone. And I was gonna go back into the Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette for an inner corner highlight, but I actually think I'm gonna stick with this and use this for my inner corner today. Okay, maybe not. This is a very subtle highlighter, and it is very subtle on my inner corner. So I am gonna go back into the palette, and I think I'm gonna go in with this shade here, and I'm just gonna put it on top of the Makeup Revolution, on top of the Essence highlighter. Oh yeah, much better. That's a lot better. All right, I'm gonna set everything in place with the Wet n Wild Matte Finish Spray. So if you have been watching my videos lately, you've heard me say that I really love this. And one of the things I loved about this highlighter or setting spray is the nozzle. However, since I've been using it pretty much like every day lately, now the nozzle it gets stuck sometimes. So just keep that in mind. You see how it's stuck down? Sometimes it gets stuck and it takes a while for the nozzle to come back up. You see how it's stuck in place? Sometimes I have to actually force it back up. So I do think that the actual product is really good for setting, but the nozzle does become an issue after you use it a few times. But I'm gonna go ahead and set with this. I always feel so like, I don't know, fancy when I'm fanning my face. I don't know. I'm gonna apply my eyeliner and mascara off camera. I'm gonna be using the NYX Matte Liquid Liner, and maybe, you know what, I'm gonna do the mascara on camera today. So I'm gonna do the liner off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the liner on. I usually do my liner and my mascara off camera because I feel like it's the same exact thing, usually the same products every time, and it takes a while. So, but you know, just to change things up a little bit, I'm gonna do my mascara on camera today. I don't wear false lashes, so it takes me a minute to put my mascara on, but I'm gonna be using the Essence Lash Princess Volume Mascara. And I feel like this is probably my favorite, like, affordable slash drugstore mascara. Everybody used to rave about the other Essence mascara, the one that has the yellow or like the yellow greenish writing on it. And when I went to go buy that one, it was sold out. So I went with this one because this one had a lot of good reviews too. And I do really like this. I haven't tried that other mascara yet, the other Essence one. So I probably won't do all of this on camera because I already feel like it's taking me quite some time to do this. So I think I am gonna skip through. Okay, I went ahead and finished the mascara off camera, and that did take a few minutes. So I'm gonna finish everything off now with the lips. I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution lipstick. I don't remember like what line of lipsticks this is. I think it's called the Rose Gold collection, but I'll have it in the description bar. But this one is in the color Diamond. I actually got this because, as you can see, it's like a really deep, almost like a deep, like red wine burgundy type looking color, or at least that's what it looks like in the tube. But I feel like when you apply it, it's a more bright red, so you'll see that in a minute. So you see how it looks on my lips. Like, I wasn't expecting this to look as bright as it does, but I feel like it'll work for today because I do want more of a deep red for this look as opposed to like a burgundy color. So I'm gonna apply this all over my lips. I am horrible at staying in frame when I'm putting lipstick on, so I apologize. Alright y'all, so this is my finished look. I went ahead and took my hair down, and I really wanted something that had like a bit of red in it because I feel like that's the color that we kind of think about when we think about Valentine's Day. But again, I went for something that had like a deeper red to it because I wanted it to be kind of like a bold, kind of like a smoky look. So I really hope that y'all like the way that the look came out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you did enjoy the video, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And again, if you have not yet already subscribed, I really hope that you will choose to do that today, and I hope to see y'all back for my next video. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.